I'll never forget that day. March 14th, 2019. It was supposed to be an exciting trip, my first real business conference in Chicago. I was 45 years old, a senior project coordinator for a logistics company, and I'd been working for weeks preparing for this event. I was proud, nervous, and even a little hopeful that maybe I'd finally get some recognition at work. But the moment I boarded the plane, that hope died. I remember walking down the narrow aisle, feeling my cheeks burn as I brushed against other passengers. My hips grazed the seats. People pulled their elbows in tighter, and then I got to my row. I sat down, but the seatbelt, it wouldn't buckle. I pulled it, yanked it, tried to suck in my stomach. Nothing. My hand shook as I reached for the seatbelt extender. That's when I heard it, the man beside me, muttering just loud enough. "Great, just great, I get stuck next to her." My throat tightened. Tears stung my eyes, and I spent the whole 2-hour flight pressed against the cold window, pretending to sleep so no one would see me cry. And in that moment, I told myself, if I can control my mind, truly control it, then my weight loss is only a matter of time. My name is Melissa Hart. I live in Columbus, Ohio. I was 45 when this story began, divorced, with one son in college. I'd always been the big girl, even back in high school, but my weight really spiraled after my divorce at 38. Nights alone meant comfort food, takeout pizza, Chinese, ice cream straight from the carton. I told myself I was too busy to cook, too tired to exercise. But the truth was, food became my best friend. By the time I hit 45, I was 276 pounds. I wore size 24 pants, size 3X tops. My knees hurt climbing stairs. I avoided mirrors. My doctor had already warned me twice. My cholesterol was high, my blood pressure was climbing, and I was one lab result away from being pre-diabetic. But I brushed it off until that flight. The humiliation wasn't just about the seatbelt or the stranger's cruel comment. It was about every missed opportunity in my life. Refusing to go hiking with friends, skipping pool parties, hiding from cameras at family events. I lived in the background of my own story, letting shame dictate what I could or couldn't do. That flight was the moment I finally faced myself. When I got back to Columbus, I couldn't stop replaying the man's words in my head. I get stuck next to her. It echoed like a verdict, and the jury was everyone I'd ever avoided eye contact with. The co-workers who smirked when I reached for a donut, the relatives who asked if I'd tried dieting, the strangers who looked away. The next morning, I stepped on the scale in my bathroom. The number, 276.4, blinked back at me. I whispered, "How did I let it get this far?" That week, I had a doctor's appointment. Dr. Lanning, a kind but firm woman, looked over my chart. She paused, sighed, and said, "Melissa, you're right on the edge of type 2 diabetes. If you don't make changes now, we'll be talking about insulin injections within a year." Her words hit harder than the man on the plane. She wasn't cruel. She was concerned, but it felt like a wake-up call from reality. That night, alone in my apartment, I pulled out an old spiral notebook. On the first page, I wrote, "This time is different. This time I don't quit." I wrote my starting weight, my measurements, my clothing size. I wrote my reasons, my son's future wedding, my own health, the fact that I wanted to live long enough to hold grandkids someday. Then I made a promise to myself. I would not do another crash diet. No quick fixes, no starving myself for a month, then binging the next. This time it would be slow, steady, and permanent. I spent hours researching real nutrition science, beginner workout plans, the truth about metabolism. I ordered a simple kitchen scale, a food journal, and yes, one supplement I'd read about that was supposed to help. With morning energy. I didn't tell anyone. It was my secret weapon. That night, I whispered out loud, "Melissa, you've spent your whole life proving doubters right. Now prove them wrong." And for the first time in years, I felt a spark of hope. The first week was brutal. I decided to start small. 1,800 calories a day, mostly whole foods. I swapped out soda for water, fast food for home-cooked meals. My first grocery list looked foreign. Chicken breast, spinach, sweet potatoes, oatmeal. I even bought a little digital scale to weigh my food. But cravings hit like storms. At night, I'd hear the whisper of ice cream from the freezer. Some nights I gave in. Other nights I cried myself to sleep, clutching a pillow instead of a bag of chips. And the gym, that was worse. I joined a local Planet Fitness. On my first day, I climbed onto the treadmill. 3 minutes in, I was gasping for air, sweat pouring down my face. I wanted to quit right then, but I remembered my promise. So I slowed the speed, walked for 10 minutes, and told myself, it's more than you did yesterday. After each workout, my legs ached. My arms felt like lead. I avoided the mirrors, avoided eye contact. I could almost hear people thinking, she won't last a month. But I kept showing up. I tracked everything in my notebook. Every meal, every workout, every weigh-in. Week 1, down 3 pounds. Week 2, down 2 more. Small numbers, but they felt like miracles. And then something surprising happened. On mornings when I took my secret little supplement with water before breakfast, I had more energy. I pushed harder at the gym, felt clearer at work. I didn't talk about it to anyone, but in my notebook I wrote, maybe this is helping. It wasn't easy. Far from it. I cried in parking lots, binged once or twice, hated myself after, but I didn't quit. For the first time in decades, I didn't quit. By the 3rd month, something shifted. I remember walking up the stairs at work one morning, balancing files in my arms. Halfway up, I realized I wasn't out of breath. For years, those same stairs left me red-faced and panting. That day, I reached the top, and a smile spread across my face. I started meal prepping on Sundays. Chicken, vegetables, rice in little containers. My coworkers noticed. Melissa, what's with the new lunches? One asked. I just shrugged and said, trying something new. At the gym, I grew bolder. I tried the elliptical, then light weights. One afternoon, a young trainer named Jason walked over. You've been consistent, he said, nodding at my logbook. That's the hardest part. Keep going. That small compliment carried me for weeks. And then came the moment that broke me open. I pulled out a pair of size 22 jeans from the back of my closet. I slid them on and zipped them easily. I stared in the mirror, tears streaming down my face. For the first time in years, I didn't just see failure. I saw a fighter. Every morning I did my special routine, wake up, drink water, take my supplement, stretch, and walk. It wasn't glamorous, but it was consistent. And consistency was building something I'd never had before. Discipline. I stopped chasing motivation. I started building habits. 6 months in, the changes were undeniable. I had lost 52 pounds. My weight was down to 224. My doctor's jaw literally dropped when she saw my blood work. Blood pressure normal, cholesterol down, blood sugar perfect. I cried in her office as she said, Melissa, you've added years to your life. But the victories weren't just medical. One Saturday, my son came home from college. Mom, he said, you look amazing. He hugged me tighter than he had in years. Another milestone. I walked into Macy's and bought a size 16 dress. 16. I hadn't seen that number in over 20 years. When I wore it to a friend's wedding, people didn't just smile politely, they gasped. One old classmate whispered, Melissa, is that really you? And on the dance floor that night, for the first time since my 20s, I danced without tugging at my clothes, without hiding in the corner. I laughed, spun, and felt alive. I had started this journey because of humiliation, but now I was fueled by joy. Looking back, I don't hate the woman who boarded that plane. I don't hate the woman who hid behind fast food and oversized clothes. I love her because she survived long enough to change. I've learned that weight loss isn't about perfection. It's about persistence, about showing up, even when you fail, about forgiving yourself for bad days, and remembering the next choice is always in your control. I used to think discipline was punishment. Now I know it's freedom. I wrote down my entire routine, every meal, every workout, every morning ritual, so I could remember it forever. I call it my battle plan. And whenever I feel myself slipping, I read it again and remind myself who I am. Today, I'm 162 pounds. I wear size 10 jeans. I walk every morning at sunrise, headphones in, smiling at the world. My knees don't hurt. I can climb stairs without stopping. I can chase my son's little nieces and nephews around the yard without feeling like I'll collapse. But more than the physical, I am free. I travel now without fear of seatbelts or stairs. I hike trails in Hocking Hills. I even signed up for a 5K charity walk last year, and I finished it. And here's what I want you to know. If you're listening to my story right now and thinking, that's nice for her, but I could never do it. Yes, you can. You don't need to do it perfectly. You just need to start with one walk, one better meal, one notebook where you write the truth. That's how change begins. One choice at a time. I promise you, it won't be easy. You'll cry. You'll doubt yourself. People might not believe in you. But if you control your mind, if you keep going, if you stay consistent, your weight loss is only a matter of time. Because if I, a 45-year-old woman who once cried on a plane because she couldn't buckle a seatbelt, can change her life, then so can you. So take that first step. Do it for your health, for your family, for your future, and most importantly, do it for you. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more true transformation stories. For those serious about transforming their health, remember, lasting change starts with mastering your mind, eating smart, moving daily, and using the right proven supplements. Our website, weightlossspeech.com, is packed with science-backed diet plans, powerful workouts, and proven supplement tips to help you reach your goals faster.